look, I need to show you something that's going to hurt. Your car is literally eating your paycheck alive. And if you stay with me until the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly how much money you're losing every single day you keep making this mistake. Plus, I'll reveal the simple strategy that could put over $500,000 back in your pocket.
The average American pays $742 monthly for a car payment. Add insurance, gas, maintenance, and you're at $1,200 per month. That's $14,400 per year, just to own a depreciating asset. And that's exactly why this conversation needs to happen. My name is Jack. I'm your instinct investor, and I help people understand money so they can build real wealth. And today, we're exposing the biggest wealth destroyer sitting in your driveway right now. And here's what kills me. That same $1,200 invested over 20 years at a 7% return? That's $570,000. You traded over $500,000 for a car that'll be worthless in 15 years. But it gets worse. So much worse. See, most people think they understand what their car costs them. They see the monthly payment, they pump the gas, they pay the insurance, but they're missing the invisible costs that are absolutely destroying their financial future. They don't see the registration fees adding up year after year. They don't track the money spent on detailing, car washes, and those small repairs that somehow cost $500 every time. And they definitely don't calculate the opportunity cost of their time spent in dealerships, service centers, and sitting in traffic in a vehicle that's costing them money every single minute they own it. Let me break down the real numbers, the ones the car industry desperately doesn't want you to calculate. That $45,000 car you bought? It loses 20% of its value the moment you drive it off the lot. $7,000 gone in the time it took you to drive home. By year 3, it's lost 30 to 50% of its value. By year 5, over 60%. You're paying for something that's systematically becoming worthless while you still owe money on it. You're also paying sales tax on that full $45,000. In most states, that's another $3,000 to $4,000 right off the bat. Money you'll never see again. Money that could have been invested. But instead, it went straight to the government because you wanted that new car smell. And here's the part that really gets me. Insurance on that new car? You're paying premium rates because it's valuable. But to who? Not to you. The bank owns it until you pay it off. And let's talk about full coverage insurance for a minute. Because you financed that car, the bank requires comprehensive and collision coverage. That's easily $150 to $300 per month, sometimes more for younger drivers. Over 6 years, that's $10,800 to $21,600 just to protect an asset that's losing value every single day. Meanwhile, someone with a paid-off used car? They're paying $60 a month for liability only. The average American will own 9 to 12 cars in their lifetime. Let's say you're average. That's $432,000 to $576,000 spent on vehicles over your working years. Money that could have made you a millionaire, but the car payment has become so normalized in our culture that we don't even question it anymore. Oh, I'll always have a car payment. That's what they want you to think. The car industry has mastered the art of making you focus on monthly payments instead of total cost. Can you afford $700 a month? They ask. Not, can you afford $50,000 plus interest? They've trained an entire generation to think in terms of monthly payments, not wealth building. And it's genius marketing. Destructive for your finances, but genius for their bottom line.
If you're finding value in this, do me a favor and hit that like button right now. It helps more people discover the truth about their money. And subscribe to the channel because we're going to keep exposing these wealth traps.
Now let me show you something that'll make this even more painful. Or motivating, depending on how you look at it. Let's say you're 25 years old. You decide to buy a modest used car for cash, $8,000, instead of financing a $35,000 new car. You invest that $1,200 monthly payment you're not making. By age 45, you have $570,000. By the time you're ready to retire at 65, you're sitting on over $2.2 million. Think about what that means for your life. That's retiring early. That's sending your kids to college debt-free. That's traveling the world, starting that business you've always dreamed about, or simply having the freedom to say no to a job you hate. All because you chose a different car. But here's what actually happens. Someone buys the $35,000 car. They finance it for 6 years at 7% interest. They're not just paying $35,000. They're paying $41,000 by the time it's paid off. Then, because that car is now 6 years old and getting old, they trade it in. It's worth maybe $14,000. They roll the remaining payments into a new car loan, and the cycle starts again. This is why almost 60% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. Not because they don't make enough money, because they're bleeding it on transportation they can't actually afford.
Now, I know what you're thinking, but Jack, I need a car. I have to get to work. I have to drive my kids around. What am I supposed to do? I get it. I'm not saying don't have a car. I'm saying don't let the car have you. Here's the strategy that actually builds wealth. Buy a reliable used car with cash. 3 to 5 years old, well-maintained, from a brand known for reliability. You'll pay 40 to 60% less than new, and it'll run just as well. But I don't have cash for a car. Then save for it. Drive your current car into the ground while you save that $1,200 monthly. In 10 months, you have $12,000. That buys you a solid, reliable vehicle. The key is breaking the cycle. You have to be willing to sacrifice the new car smell for actual wealth. Let me give you another perspective. That $742 average car payment? That's not just a car payment. That's your entire retirement contribution for most Americans. The average person contributes about $23,500 per year. Your car payment is $10,000 plus per year. You're literally putting more into a depreciating asset than into your future. This is the trade-off nobody talks about. Every dollar you overspend on transportation is a dollar you can't invest, can't use for emergency savings, can't put toward your kids' education, can't use to build the life you actually want. The dealership won't tell you this. The bank definitely won't. But I will. Every dollar you overspend on a car is a dollar that's not building your wealth. It's not complicated math. It's just math nobody wants you to do. And here's the thing about modern car culture. We've been conditioned to see our cars as extensions of our identity, your worth, your success, your status. But wealthy people? They see cars as tools. Transportation from point A to point B, nothing more. Warren Buffett, one of the richest people in the world, drove a Cadillac DTS for nearly a decade. He bought it used. Mark Zuckerberg used to drive a Honda Fit. These are people who could buy entire car dealerships without checking their bank balance. They understand something most people don't. Your car doesn't build wealth. It consumes it. So here's my challenge to you. Calculate what you're actually spending on your car every month. Not just the payment. Everything. Payment, insurance, gas, maintenance, registration, parking. Add it all up. Now multiply that by 12. That's your annual car cost. Now, go to any compound interest calculator online. Plug in that monthly amount. Set it for 20 years. Use a 7% return, which is conservative for stock market investments. Look at that number. That's what your car is actually costing you. Not the sticker price. Not the monthly payment. Your opportunity cost. The wealth you'll never build because that money is going to depreciation instead of appreciation. This is the single biggest financial mistake most Americans make, and they make it over and over again throughout their lives. Now, I'm not saying everyone needs to drive a 15-year-old beater, but I am saying that the difference between a $45,000 car and a $15,000 car isn't transportation. It's ego. And your ego is expensive. Painfully expensive. Look, I know this isn't what you want to hear. Nobody wants to be told they're making a huge financial mistake with something they use every day.
But here's the truth. Every person who's built real wealth has made sacrifices that other people weren't willing to make. For many of them, it started with their car. Your car is either the thing that keeps you broke or the first place you take control of your financial future. You get to decide which one. Hit subscribe if this just changed how you think about money. Because the instinct to follow the crowd will keep you broke. But the instinct to question everything? That's what builds wealth.